everybody, it's Lori. So the video you're actually about to watch was recorded a couple days ago. I forgot to do an introduction. So we had a break in the cold weather and it was actually almost 50 degrees. So I jumped outside and started working on cleanup. I'm up here in my shade garden and most of the shade garden is already cleaned up, pruned back. I have a lot of leaf litter that I took my leaves and mulched them, and I am leaving that. I want it to continue to compost the ground. But what I needed to do a couple days ago was I needed to clean up these containers and just kind of putter around and clean up a bunch of things in the garden. A lot of my containers, and then I wanted to clean up my back little garden shed. Needed a little overhaul. It's kind of a garden potting space. And then the last thing I wanted to do was actually do a little winter pruning, and I decided to prune my Rose of Sharon. I have two, and I'm just going to walk you through why and how I am pruning one of my Rose of Sharons. So let's jump in and see what I did a couple days ago. Thanks, everybody.
Well, I'm so grateful for this break in the winter cold. I think it's one day out of about a 3-week time period where I could actually get out into the garden. So even though it's February, we usually have days where I can get out and do some work. I'm not sure about where you live, but I really enjoy those days because I think it just makes spring much more tolerant and enjoyable. So this back shade garden, I did a lot of cleanup in the fall. And what I mainly did was I have a mulcher for leaves. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. It's a Works leaf mulcher, and it's just the perfect size for a home gardener. And so all the leaves that fell from our big maple trees, I mulched. And then I did cut back some of my perennials and hostas in the fall and then just covered the area with this beautiful leaf mulch. So I don't have that much cleanup in the garden, but what I do have is, like you see here, some winter greens and things that I had decorated with in this back area. And I just need to go ahead and clean those up and put some of it in the compost pile. I also have some containers that I want to shuffle around. I am always moving my containers around. Let me know in the comments if you do that as well. It's almost like redecorating the garden. So I just like kind of moving them and shuffling them around. So we're going to do a little container shuffling today as well. This table in the back here, I love. We got it in Texas. It is a marble top, an iron base. It's very heavy, very unique. It's 3-legged, and I've used it all over the garden. We used to use it indoors. I don't have a space in this house, but it just works great as a place when I'm doing workshops or when I'm serving something and using this table. I can use it to put drinks on or work from. So I'm sure you'll see it in future videos this spring and summer. It's just a really fun piece that I can move around the garden. So again, just doing all that tidying and cleanup, and then we're going to work on moving some containers around and just freshening things up so that they look really beautiful until we get to actual springtime. So this terracotta container is one from Italy that I actually got at Home Goods. You can find these quite often. This one has an oak leaf and acorns on the front, and it is so beautiful. So I definitely wanted to bring it out into the front. The black container actually had an elephant ear in it, and unfortunately I didn't get it out before the freeze, and it is so frozen tight in that container. I'm going to have to sit that one there in the back corner until it thaws out. But I have another beautiful terracotta that I think is going to look gorgeous in this kind of grouping here. And I have a shrub, I think, can't remember if it's a type of holly or a sunshine ligustrum. I've got to look at the tag, but it's a shrub that I'm going to plant in this container. And I just thought that would really complement this 4 grouping of containers. I just like this grouping right here on the corner. And then this last terracotta pot has this, winter greenery. It's kind of like a low ground cover juniper, but I thought it would be beautiful in a container. I need to get that one planted, but we didn't have time for that today. Okay, so we finished up this beautiful shade garden, and now I'm going to show you a scary spot in my garden. So this is behind the floral studio. We have this plastic shed that we had to get really quick. We wanted something inexpensive. That holds all of our rakes and shovels and electric lawnmower and all of that. Then I have this little potting bench. It was my mom's. She downsized and gave it to me. And it's so fun, and I would love it as a potting bench. But unfortunately, one, it's back here all the way at the back of my garden. So it's not near the house where I might use it for like houseplant repotting. Two, it really just becomes a catch-all for all the things. You can see all the containers, all the tools. It's just that kind of spot. And I need to think of a more practical way to use this space. So that's what I want to think about the rest of this winter season. But today I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned out. So I am going to downsize my containers and get rid of some that don't have drainage holes, that are too small, really keep just my terracotta and the containers that I know I like to use. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm also going to get rid of any trash or, things that don't belong in this space. So I don't know about you, but it is so rejuvenating and makes you feel so good to check something like this off your list. So throughout January and now February, I've been tackling kind of one space at a time, and I find that that works best. This only really took me 30 minutes, but just getting in here, cleaning up, getting rid of things I don't need, and creating a beautiful pile that I'll take to our local charity store is just really nice to have it ready for spring. Now, ultimately, I want to figure out something different to do with this space, something more useful, and something that won't just collect all the leftover things. I actually really would like a way to hang tools during the season, maybe even some type of slat wall. Maybe I could put a covering back here. I don't know. If you have any great ideas, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and then I'll let you see the final outcome. Okay, so now this space is all cleaned up. It's still not exactly the way I want it, but I do know that at least I've gotten all the containers out. I'm going to take this pile to Goodwill. I'm also donating a couple tools that I don't use. I had like 4 3-prong digging tools, so I'm going to donate a couple of those. And it just feels good to have this space done. So next, we are actually going to go into the other part of the garden, and I'm going to prune a Rose of Sharon. So it's that time of year also. Rose of Sharons are dormant, and it's a great time to go ahead and prune them if you want to control their size, which I do. So let's go take a look.
Hey everybody, so it's the time of year where I want to prune this Rose of Sharon. Let me show you where it is. It's in this front bed. There's the back of the house, and you come around, and the Rose of Sharon is right here at the corner of this flower bed. So it's really beautiful. It adds some color in front of the Carolina cypress tree, and it just I think it's beautiful. I think this one is the white. I also have a blue chiffon, but it is definitely a time to prune it. Now, this one, I have kept it limbed up, and I want to continue that this year. This is a proven winners version, and I do not get a lot of, starts from it or where it's rooting in, which really is great. I know the traditional kind of old-fashioned Rose of Sharon often would seed themselves, but I haven't had a lot of issues with that. Now with your Rose of Sharon, you can prune the height so that they stay and they don't get too tall, which is what I want here because I want it to be nice, but I don't want to completely block it out. I also like to keep it kind of clear down at the bottom. So I'm going to start coming in and definitely shaping this up. It's best to do it in the winter. And just like your roses or other shrubs, you don't want branches that are crisscrossing. That's just going to prevent the health of the plant overall. So like here is one that's crisscrossing. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm also going to come in and I am just going to top it off at the top, right kind of above a leaf node. So I got this Rose of Sharon all pruned up. I'm going to work on my second Rose of Sharon, and I'm going to show you pictures of these beauties from last season. Thanks for watching, everyone.